A big old blow up causing a fire in a New York mining farm. This is coming from CoinDesk. First a hum and then a bang. Niagara Falls residents forced to reckon with crypto mining. The city in New York has imposed a moratorium on new Bitcoin mining operations as complaints about noise were compounded by an explosion and fire at a mining site last week. An explosion and subsequent fire rocked a Blockfusion crypto mining facility in upstate New York last week, resulting in thousands of mining rigs going offline. About 3 miles away, another Bitcoin mine owned by U.S. Bitcoin Corp had previously drawn the ire of some residents for being too noisy. The result, the city of Niagara Falls has imposed a moratorium on new Bitcoin mining operations while it works on ordinances to control impact of mining on the local community. The new laws will likely include zoning requirements, which makes sense, to ensure crypto mines aren't too close to residential areas. Niagara Falls Mayor Robert Restaino, something like that, Restaino, I don't know why I want to go nyo, told CoinDesk in a phone interview on Thursday, quote, "We have what we think is the final draft of the proposed change," end quote, the mayor said. As for the next steps, he said the draft will go to the city planning board before it goes to the city council for a final vote. Most residents near the Blockfusion site told CoinDesk they had heard the explosion but weren't too alarmed at the time and said the resulting fire was put out quickly. Teresa Chappelle, who lives about 1/3 of a mile away, said she not only heard but also felt the explosion inside her home. At the time, she was having dinner with her children in her yard, which was a direct view to the Blockfusion facility about 400 yards away. Marlene said the explosion was terrifying to her and her kids, and she rushed them inside to avoid inhaling the fumes. Now, okay. That's fine. That's fine. These kinds of explosions, though, were actually a more common occurrence several years ago when the site was still operating as a power plant, she said. Marlene posted photos from the incident on her personal Facebook page, which indicate the date of the explosion as May 10th. Blockfusion USA is a New York City-based company, and the mining rigs it hosts at the Niagara Falls site belong to NASDAQ-listed Bit Digital, which reported the incident in a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Thursday. Bit Digital noted that power was cut off for 2,515 Bitcoin miners and 710 Ethereum miners. Ooh, we have a number of ASIC Ethereum miners in production right there. Did we see a drop on May 10th, too? I don't remember. It was a while ago. Have to look back further. May 10th. Trying to remember. All right. That's fine. Wrong one. There we go. But the explosion and the fire didn't seriously damage the machines or the building. The company placed blame for the explosion with, quote, faulty equipment owned by the power utility, end quote, and said it intends, along with Blockfusion, to pursue claims, including seeking reimbursement for lost revenue. How this gets resolved between the utility and its customer, I think, will be the subject of an awful lot of discussion. Adding that he added that the fire department wasn't called for an investigation on the site and simply responded to the incident. The police department wasn't involved, the mayor's office said. The city's biggest concern, he said, is that such facilities operate in line with local law, particularly with regard to electrical services and permitting. Quote, that's really been the failure on the part of many of these crypto miners, end quote, he said. Look. There's Bitcoin miners they just want you to leave them alone. That's all. This is interesting. I am curious on how this particular lawsuit will take place between, I guess, what is the power company and the mining company, because that's always a question of, essentially power delivery, and then making sure that you're not overutilizing and so on. and I'm curious whose fault it really was, because it's saying faulty equipment owned by the power utility. So they're talking about faulty equipment from the power company, not faulty equipment from them. But then were they overburdening the power company's hardware, right? And were they keeping track of that? Was all of it like following 80% rule? Were all those safety precautions put into place? So on and so forth. Or were they potentially using, you know, faulty ASIC mining panels.com panels or PDUs, and that could have caused some of the issues as well. It's always kind of this is one of those worst case scenario, biggest problems you can have as a miner, especially a large miner, that you need to be cognizant of. And that's even within your home, right? So that's why I would never suggest doing electrical work yourself. You want to get a good electrician in. You want to make sure that you're paying them. You want to make sure that you get the power company to come out and inspect. You want to cover your butt as far as all of that goes, because if something like that happens and it's on you because you went ahead and upgraded the electrical panel yourself, or, you know, installed whatever, a plug, whatever it may be, and something happens, you know, you're not going to get covered, right? Especially like if you're doing it out of your house, like you want to be extremely careful, make sure you're getting that homeowner's insurance coverage, because you've definitely like followed the 80% rule, meaning don't utilize more than 80% of whatever that circuit is capable of, etc. So I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.